welcome.
Need some elevator music.
I think so.
Timing, that's all about timing. It's 6 o'clock. I call this meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scott, do we need a motion for Keith?
It'd probably be appropriate to excuse him.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we excuse member Heidelberg.
Second. Been moved in second. All those in favor say yes.
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 Motion is approved. Next up is the approval of the agenda.
I'll move to approve the agenda as submitted for September 27th, 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any questions, comments? Or... All right. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no. Agenda is approved. Next up is the consent agenda.
I'll move for the approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or comments?
I have a couple questions.
All right.
Page 5 of 6. It's for the playhouse, but
In all likelihood, you're correct.
I just wondered whether we were, what kind of fees we were paying.
Well, the V's and W's is a big stack, so. bear with me.
It was just a funny number too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With a decimal point in there.
On the one for the chief, there's no detail. I did find it on the EFT remittance advice. I will have to double check on that.
Okay, like I said, just curious. And I have one other question that's more of a general question, question about anything, but, the extra fuel that we have left in the tanks at the Marina after the season is over, what happens to it? Does it just stay there?
It does.
I should have known that, but.
We fill the tanks, to capacity that minimizes any type of condensation over the winter. Then we double check in the spring, before we start selling the fuel. We have a company come in, they pull a sample and test, make sure that, we're still, well below tolerance limits as far as, the condensation that does collect over the winter.
Okay, like I said, I should have known that, but, wasn't positive, so I just thought, since there was buying fuel again,
Yeah, and
this late in the season.
the fuel bill in here is for DPW.
Thought it said Marina.
I think it was at DPW.
Okay. Well, doesn't make any difference one way or the other, because I just wanted to verify what,
Yeah.
I didn't know if we emptied them, or, and got credit back for it, or, like you said, topping it off is the smartest thing to do, but
Yep, that's what we
Okay.
do.
that's all I have, thank you.
Anyone else have anything? All right, all those in favor of the consent agenda say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no.
No.
The consent agenda is approved. Next up is messages from the mayor and city manager. Scott, do you have any?
I have nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Jeff?
Okay. Reading the MML magazine that we get, I noticed that quite a few cities are going to looking at an ordinance for solar panels, etc., to keep them in line with everything. I wonder if that's something we ought to be looking at. I don't know, Will's.
We do have an alternative energy ordinance, and I think wind turbines, solar are included in that, but we can double check.
Okay. Yeah, I was just, like I said, I was thumbing through the magazine, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that might not be a bad idea with everything that's going on, to make sure everything's where it needs to be.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Ms. Brown?
I don't have any questions or anything, but I would like to ask to be excused from the next council meeting on October 11th. I'm going on my first vacation in 3 years, so.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded, all those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? No one's opposed. Have a great vacation.
Thank you.
Sean?
Nothing tonight?
Nothing, sir. Nothing.
Steve?
Well, I'll just bring up what I just heard. While I was sitting here, there's several places along Lake Street where it's hard to see around the corners. One being Misco Drive, another being, I think the next street to the north. Is that Lewis Street? Where you come down the hill and
Muskegon.
Muskegon Avenue.
Muskegon Avenue, yes.
And also, Mill Pond Road, you gotta pull, these streets, you kinda gotta pull out into traffic to be able to see far enough to make your corner, and, it's a little bit, can be a little bit scary for people at times, so, we could look into getting some.
Kinda like,
It is driving me crazy too.
Yeah, there's Scott.
We'll have DPW take a look at that and trim back where necessary.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's move on to public comment. Anyone have a comment that they would like to make?
Good evening, my name is Tamara Horn and I live in the city of Whitehall. I see there's 2 resolutions on your agenda regarding ABM, and I would suggest that you do not approve those. It's not that those items are not necessarily important to be done, but for reasons that were mentioned in previous meetings by council members Heidelberg, Sickinga, and Brown, I would think that you would want to go with a different company than ABM. Thank you.
Anyone else?
My name's Lily Morningstar, 912 Lakeview Street, and I have one more corner that's kind of bad. I thought about it when we were talking about it. The one coming out of Miller's on Kobe Street, if you're turning left but you're looking to the right, those trees right there, they're fairly new, need to be shaved down so you can see down the road. I had a hard time pulling out from there the other day.
Where was
Right,
that you were
thank you.
talking about?
Huh?
Where was that?
By Miller's, the oil shop. Miller's, whatever you call them. You know, the oil place, they change cars, kind of was.
Franklin and Colby.
I don't know what street that is,
Restaurant.
Franklin?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Franklin Street.
That corner, okay? Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to old business. Do we have any old business? Scott?
We do not.
All right, we do have new business. Resolution 2244, city property.
I'll make a move the resolution 2244 for city property, the sale of city property, to Clark Trust, for the amount of $105,000.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Any questions, comments?
I have, go ahead, Scott.
My only comment is, it says that somewhere, that the money would be bookmarked for park improvements. Is there any way we can take that one step further and say that we want a minimum of $25,000 of that money to go to swing set, etc. for G Park, since that has been brought up several times in the last few months?
You would have that latitude.
So what would we need to do? Make a motion?
A motion to amend the resolution.
Mr. Connell?
If I can interject for
Yes.
just a minute, because my comment was right along with what you're talking about, Scott. Now, excuse me, the only problem that I have with this is the wording on that, the money going towards park improvements. And I'm not against that, but I would like council to have input on what those improvements are.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, I guess they talk about the master, the park, master plan, but that to me looks at adding to, improving whatnot. We've got several areas that need attention. Two off the top of my head, and I'm sure there's more that we could talk about, but we have two monuments, in the city, one in Cole Park, one right at the corner, Veterans Memorials, that are in need of some masonry repair. Brian has already gotten one bid from, Morton, and it was around, I think it was just under 20,000, for both. I'm sure if we get a few more bids, we could probably do a little better than that, but that's one item that needs to be taken care of. And also, and I would think that the pathway would fall under Parks and Recreation.
Mhm.
Might be a perfect opportunity to, we've already talked about the fact that from Hanson to the river, that stretch of the trail needs to have attention, it needs to be redone. Those are just a couple items that I think we should look at. And, like I say, I would much prefer to see this go to that portion go to a work session and be able to discuss and decide what we wanna do with it.
The, as I'm reading it, not entirely clear, but based upon the Parks and Rec master plan, we are 2 years past updating the Parks and Rec master plan. We spoke about that at the Marina Advisory Committee meeting, and probably moving quicker on getting that updated, in which we can, list all of that and prioritize things, which the city council would eventually have input into that, that entire plan and that 105,000. If you wanted to move quicker than that, what we could do is put that whole $105,000 towards a work session. I do know that grants, most of the DNR grants are due April 1st. A lot of them require a minimum 25% local match, which never gets you in the ballpark. If we went with a 50% match, that certainly increases our score, and that could allow us to do up to $210,000 worth of repairs and or improvements. So we can bring this back at a work session.
Yeah.
Not necessarily amending the motion for the 25,000, but that can certainly be a discussion at the next work session.
I guess I just think when you're going by the master plan, like you said, it's already 2 years overdue on being revised. A lot of things have happened since that plan was put into effect.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, one being the splash pad. We've added that. The biggest issue I've heard has been the rubber chips from the playground getting into the drains on the splash pad. That might be another thing that we can look at, putting a different material in that playground area so that we don't have that problem. I know 100,000 isn't gonna do everything, but if we can get grant money along with it, why?
Mm-hmm.
If it doubles to 210, it makes a big difference. So you're right. Absolutely.
I think the more we sit here and think about the different things, the more we're gonna add
Add
to the list. We've got a couple derelict tennis courts sitting over here too, and but I think maybe if perhaps in an upcoming meeting, maybe we could get a report out to the council, just where we're at with some of these things, and not necessarily the very next work session, let's sit down and allocate all this money, but just tell us where staff is at with it, and we can we can decide what if anything we can do at that point.
Yeah, the intent of that was that since we are receiving a sizable portion of income related to the sale of city property, why not put that back towards maintaining or improving some city property versus just going in the general fund and being dispersed 100 different ways.
And I agree, Scott. I'm all in favor of going to the parks, but like I say, rather than making him, well, and these repairs would be improvements, but I guess when you put the master plan in there, it made me think that we wanted to add to or add equipment or something like that. I'd rather see things get taken care of that need to be taken care of do we need an amendment then to change that wording to go to a work session with, funding, or?
If you wanted to get rid of everything after the word improvements, that leaves it fairly open. And it allows you to do things if you want prior to, the revised Parks and Rec plan and adoption by the state. If there was something we could chip away at sooner.
Okay. All right, can I make that amendment then, as what you just said?
Yes.
Everything.
Stop at improvements.
I'd like to throw in there too, that, you know, when I heard 105,000, I'm thinking, okay, geez, winter's coming up and we've had this issue of sidewalk cleaning for quite some time. And I thought maybe it'd be a nice time to invest some money in some sidewalk cleaning equipment also. Which is, to me, certainly more pressing than a swing set, you know.
Yeah,
But I guess I'd rely on staff's recommendation for that, but,
I think this snowblower that we were using last year on the tractor, seemed to be doing a great job. I think it was more just manpower as far as, having somebody out there all the time.
Correct.
I certainly agree that this money it's a good idea to discuss it at a work session. So,
I agree.
let's,
The only reason I threw the G Park one out there was because you
Yep.
brought up several times
Yep.
about people coming to you about,
Yep.
there isn't even a swing set and it's a park, you know, so.
and I certainly do want that swing set in that park. There's no doubt about that. I do want that.
I mean, you know, and like I said, the more we talk about it, the more things we're gonna find, so just getting it to a work session
Okay.
works.
So, do you need the motion amended?
Yeah, you need to vote on the amendment.
Okay. Who made the original?
We have a motion by Connell, we need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Okay.
So the motion's been seconded, and what exactly is it, the motion with it, where?
Removing, based upon the city's Parks and Recreation Master Plan prioritize capital improvements, under the section be it further resolved. So it just ends that the 105,000 be designated for park improvements.
Okay, everyone understands that, all right.
Yeah, and I think we all understand the word improvement to generally include repairs and maintenance.
Yes, all right. Roll call, please.
Connell,
Yes,
Brown,
Yes.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Siginga,
Yes.
Mullally,
Yes.
and Salter.
Yes. Resolution 22 is approved. Next is resolution 2245. Faculty audit, facility audit. If there's support for this,
I'll make a motion for it.
okay. Going once. Going twice. There's no support for this resolution. All right, we'll move on to resolution 2246.
I'll make a motion for that one too, just
Right.
because.
It's been moved. Going once. Going twice. It appears there's no support for resolution 2246. All right. That moves us to public comment. This is the time where students would come and introduce themselves.
I'm here from Montague High School, and I'm from my government class, and the teacher is Mr. Brunson.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ruth Bowser. I'm from Montague High School. I am here for my government class, and my teacher is Mr. Brunson.
Thank you. Do we have any other public comment?
Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Hostica. I'm the Democratic candidate for state representative in the new 102nd district. The new district basically begins in Fruitland Township and runs north along the lake shore all the way up to the first township north of the city of Manistee. So it's a big, pretty big district, but we're canvassing it all. And I was raised in Whitehall, and I've called Whitehall home most of my life. I'm a graduate of Whitehall High School. I have two kids. They're 21 and 19 years old, and they're also graduates of Whitehall. My parents owned Dog and Suds in Montague for about 40 years. Grew up from a young age working there, which I really didn't appreciate much, but I've learned to appreciate it. I was also I owned and operated Dairy Treat down the street for about 10 years. And while I was running that, I helped lead the effort to get parking back on Colby Street from MDOT. I'm now a public defender in Muskegon. Before that, I was a prosecutor for quite a few years. And as a prosecutor, I'm a member of the Fraternal Order of Police, and I'm also the vice president of the White Lake Community Library. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself, rather than get into any issues or anything like that. I do have a way for people to get a hold of me or to look up things about me if they wish. May I leave them? Is there a place out maybe in the hallway or here?
You can probably leave them here,
Okay,
Brian,
I'll just put them on the table then.
but probably we wouldn't keep them after the meeting.
No, yeah, that's
though.
fine.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just thought I wanted to know. Really, I was down to the city park at Cole Park, and we had a bunch of kids down there on last week Wednesday. It's a women's kids with their kids and stuff. And my niece asked me to come down there, and I noticed the picnic tables need to be repainted. Not all of them, but quite a few of them are pretty dire shape. And you're gonna repaint or do something down there this next year. Maybe it's all part of the plan already. But go down there and look at them. And they're kind of, I don't know. Marilyn Brown did fall down there, but she ended up in the grass and broke her leg. But yeah, but the picnic tables I think need to be updated. Thank you.
Sounds like a nice springtime project. Thank you. All right, any more public comment? Anyone on the council have anything they want to say? Nobody has anything to say?
I haven't been down to the repair part of the bike trail since we've had rain, but I'm assuming that the repairs are working and it's not wet, other than from the rain.
Rain, yeah, yeah. If you go to the far south drain, you can hear the water running through there, which is a wonderful sound. So, yeah, it's working.
That's good.
I did want to comment on,
Yeah.
they cleaned up that hill to the,
Yes.
well, along the bike trail.
Yes.
And that looks really nice.
Yes, it
That
does.
was a mess, and they cleaned out a lot of stuff out of there. Now, was that the conservation district did that, or who was it did that?
Yes.
They
Yes.
did a great job, looks
Yes.
nice.
They did some planting also along there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's see. I don't know if anyone noticed, but the flower pots were cleaned out today and the petunias were taken down, so my petunia patrol days are over for the year.
I do have one more thing.
Yes.
White Lake Fire Authority has their open house on Friday. Just wanted to let everybody know.
Pizza or?
I think so. I know I'm probably gonna end up getting roped in and giving out ice cream, so.
Ice cream?
Out of the patrol truck, the sheriff's department for some reason. I was asked. So, yeah, it'll be a good event. Go out, go look at the new truck, go look at the new station.
That's how it's at the
It's at the
station.
fire station.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna do rides, I do believe, out in the out down Almond Way and
Okay.
all that stuff. So yeah, stop out. Figured Keith was here, he just brought it up, but
Yep.
he's at fire inspector training education. So.
Okay. All right. We have nothing more, then we're adjourned. Thank you all.